Hey guys, how are you doing today? I'm Jay, and as you can see in the title, we are talking about how to start our YouTube channel while working a 9 to 5. I feel like a lot of us that start off with YouTube, we are really working a 9 to 5. I am too. I'm personally working too. I've been doing YouTube for about on and off since like I want to say 2015 or 2016. Yeah, it's been quite a while since I've been doing YouTube. I definitely just want to share the tips and the knowledge that I've learned over the years of being a content creator. So yeah, without further ado, let's give out my tips and tricks of how to become a YouTuber while working a 9 to 5. You've probably heard this before, but there really aren't many things that you need when you're starting off a YouTube channel. Really, honestly, you probably just need maybe two things, and that is your cell phone and maybe a tripod. This is probably one of the most important accessories that you can get when starting a YouTube channel because your arm will get tired holding a phone in your face 24/7. And that's if you're doing vlogs. If you're doing talking head videos like what I'm doing right now, you're definitely gonna need a tripod. As far as for the tripod, there's two different kinds of tripods that you can get. You can either get your standard tripod, which is what my current camera is sitting on, or you can get the portable tripod. If you are a vlogger like me, a portable tripod is a necessity because this particular one, you can hold as a selfie stick, and then you can extend it out. It has legs attached to it, so you can put it down if you want to get some b-roll shots. So if you want to get a little talking head in, whatever the case may be, it's a very versatile thing. And even if you aren't a vlogger and you just want to do b-roll, I feel like this is a perfect accessory to have. Now what I will say is these are less sturdy than the standard tripod, so just keep that in mind. But as far as for starting out, I would definitely recommend this. And I'll link this down below in the description, as far as, because I got this from Amazon, but I'll link it down below. This is something that I wish I had learned early on in my YouTube journey. Organization. I never realized how important it was to organize a video or even just having like a schedule until recently. If you're working a 9 to 5 like me and you already are kind of short on time, you definitely need to come up with a schedule, a plan. I use Notion and I use the notes on my personal phone. And I have a template set up for my videos. I script out my videos. And when you're scripting your videos, you don't have to necessarily script it word for word, like this is exactly what you're going to say. How I script my videos is just basically what I would say, and I kind of use that as a reference point just in case I get off topic. And this is when my notes come into hand, because at any given point of the day, I could have an idea for a video and I don't want to lose the idea. So what I would do is I go on my phone, I go on my notes, and I type in my idea. As far as for planning out my schedule around work, what I do is I have a calendar. I plan out my recording days around days that I'm off or that I have time to actually record. What I would recommend is, if you know what your schedule is going to be, if you know when you're going to be off, then I would personally plan to record on the days that you're off. Another thing that I do as well is I also brainstorm. Basically, it just goes from me brainstorming the idea, then I do research on the idea, I listen to music, I also look into thumbnail ideas. I also create a scene list, especially if I'm doing a more cinematic vlog, and I also have a deadline that I would like to meet, so I set. By now, you should have a better idea and a clear image of how you would want to do your videos. All you gotta do is just hit record at this point. And at this point in your YouTube journey, you are probably gonna be very nervous. You're gonna be like, oh my gosh, like what am I gonna do? This is why you organize that video before hitting the record button. Okay, this is why you're gonna have your script. You're going to have the idea of the image that you wanted to make. You're going to have the music that you already listened to. You're gonna already have conveyed the image that you're trying to put out. So all you got to do is hit the record button. You're going to gain an audience and you're going to grow from that as well. So now, editing for the first time could be so intimidating. It could be a lot of work. You really spend hours to days editing. I promise you, editing is a very long process as far as for editing software. If you're using your phone and your phone only, I would strongly recommend using CapCut. CapCut is really good, and I use CapCut personally when I am editing my reels or if I'm editing my shorts. I use CapCut on my phone. You can also color grade in CapCut. You can do a lot in CapCut, and CapCut has a lot of presets as well. If you have access to a computer, my number one recommendation would be DaVinci Resolve. DaVinci Resolve has a free version of the software that you can download onto your computer. If you have a little bit more money, I would say Adobe Premiere. Adobe Premiere you can buy in full, or you can use Adobe subscription program that, I think it's like $20 a month or something like that. Or if you're a student, I believe it's like 15. Don't quote me on that, but I believe it's within that range. Another couple options that I would recommend if you have the money, Final Cut. I was told that Final Cut is a really good program. I have never personally used Final Cut myself, but you can, do your research on that. And then you have DaVinci Resolve again. You can buy the full program of that. If you create your scene list correctly, you should be able to go back at your scene list and literally place your videos exactly how they need to be placed. It's basically a guideline of how you're supposed to make your videos. So that's why it's very important to be organized, because it can actually cut the time of editing. Now that you're done with all your editing, you are now ready to post. Now, when you're posting your video, you want to make sure you have a really good title full of keywords and key phrases. I personally use vidIQ. It helps me with creating different titles. I don't take the exact title that's generated for me. I would probably take little points of the title and just turn it into my own. But that's just me. Do what you do. Do what works for you. So now that we got all that out of the way, I definitely want to talk about some bonus tips. Tip number one, if you're looking to upgrade your quality within your videos, I would definitely recommend buying a camera. When you're going to go find a camera, just think about different things. I personally use the DJI Osmo Pocket 3. It's an amazing camera. I love it. It's an amazing vlogging camera. I also use the Sony ZV-E10. That was also an amazing camera. It's a lot of cameras. I promise you, it's a lot of cameras, and it's more than just Sony out there. I'm just a Sony person, but you got Canon, you got Nikon, you got Lumix. So yeah, you have a plethora of camera options out there to choose from. Just do your research and just see what work best for you and what you can work into your budget. Tip number two, buying a mic. A microphone is something that it will eventually become very important throughout your YouTube journey. You're going to want to have better audio in your videos. So I would definitely recommend buying a microphone. The microphone that I'm using is the DJI, I believe it's like the wireless 2. This microphone came with my camera. I brought the creator pack for the DJI Osmo Pocket 3, so it came with a microphone. There are other microphones that you can buy, like for instance a Rode mic, which would be perfect to attach to your Sony ZV-E10. Rode also makes different wireless mics if you want to do wireless as well. Those are the only mics that I've ever really used, so I don't have many other recommendations for you, but I'm pretty sure there are a lot of videos out there that will talk about the different mics and variations that you can choose from and look into. Tip number three, eventually wherever you're storing your videos on, the devices you're storing your videos on, you're going to run out of storage. At that point, you're going to want to invest in a external drive. I would recommend getting an SSD drive. I use the Sony T1, I believe that's what it's called, and it has 1 terabyte of storage on it. I typically edit off of there. I save all of my work on there, and it just keeps everything just off of my device to keep storage and to keep the device running properly. Also, if you have purchased a camera, you're going to need an SD card reader. And now those are fairly cheap. You can get them anywhere. You can go to Best Buy, Amazon, and just buy an SD card reader. Tip number four, if you have decided to buy the camera, you're going to need ND filters. ND filters are basically sunglasses for cameras by basically keeping your videos from being overexposed. I will link what I use for the DJI down below as far as for my indie filters, but indie filters is definitely the way to go. The final tip and most important tip is to pace yourself. You're going to do perfectly fine. Even when you start getting that momentum, the audience, the followership and everything, they didn't click on your video and start watching you because of how often that you post. They started watching your videos because of how amazing your quality is and how amazing your videos are. If you go back and look at other bigger YouTubers, a lot of them don't really post that much. They really don't post as much as you think they do. Some of them that I've seen have gone like months, come back, still got the same audience. So don't get too caught up in like, oh gosh, I gotta keep like don't do that. Slow and steady wins the race. I hope this video helped give you some kind of insight of how to start your YouTube channel if you're working a 9 to 5, or even if you're not working a 9 to 5 and you're just looking to start a YouTube channel. I hope that this video has helped you. If it has, and if you want to continue to follow me on my YouTube journey, hit the subscribe button. But nonetheless, like, comment, and I will see you guys in the next video.